Samsung Galaxy AI.
AI.
The AI.
AI.
So, the Galaxy S24 Ultra, and they've made so much buzz about Galaxy AI. What's happening? Like, is it worth it? Do we need it? Do you need it? And I'll decode all of that for you, and we'll talk about what's new with the phone as well. So let's go in the order of what I think is super useful when it comes to AI on this phone. First, and my favorite, is Circle to Search, and it's all about how you actually use it. Like, a lot of times, I'm just watching a video, I see something I like, and I'm like, wow, what is that? I could just long press the home button, circle that thing, and get more info about what that is and where I could get it. And it works even on text. So in chats, if someone tells me something I don't know about, I could just highlight like that and get more info on what is it. Could be a restaurant and I want to know where it is, what timings, etc. Now look, it isn't something that we couldn't have done with Google Lens before, but the way Samsung has made it so easy to access on the phone, I just see a lot of us using it more and more now. Next is the ability to convert any video into slow motion by simply long pressing it, even if you did not shoot it in slow motion. Just hold the video while it's playing and you can see it in slow motion. And you could go into the editor and export those parts that you want in slow motion and create a whole other video out of it. It's pretty good actually, and you won't even notice that it's not 100% accurate. But hey, it's still an AI that's trying to slow down your footage by 4 times, and we can expect it to become better anyway with time. The other thing is that you can now move things around in your photo, and as you do that, it will automatically fill the areas. It holds true even if you erase an object or a person or your pet, it will just fill the image in a way that it feels as if nothing was ever there. Or if you want to, let's say, straighten an image and you've got gaps, it will automatically fill them. But keep in mind, it will add that Galaxy AI watermark, so it's known that it was AI generated and it will be in the metadata as well. Next is Browsing Assist. Like if you're reading an article and you're like, oh, too long, you could just hit the AI button here and summarize in one click. And you'll have a crisp summary of the article, or you could get a detailed summary as well. And yes, there's an option to translate that whole thing too once you've summarized. But then that option to summarize in just one click, very time saving. So guys, these were my favorite features that I see myself use very often. But then there's like a ton of other cool things that maybe of use to some of the other people. Like in Samsung Notes, I can straighten my handwriting in one tap. I could generate covers for all my notes in one go and have them look more organized. While chatting, I could take a little grammar help, or I could make something sound more professional or more casual depending on who I'm talking to. You could even chat in 2 entirely different languages while being able to see translations real time. And this also works on WhatsApp and Instagram DMs. And by the way, I can do the same thing on call as well, real time. So let's say if someone is speaking to me in Chinese, I would actually hear it in English in real time. And as I speak in English, they would hear it in Chinese. Now, obviously, some things may appeal to you more and some things may appeal to some other people, but I'm really stoked to see the path that Samsung has set with Galaxy AI on the S24. And now, let's talk about what other things are new with the Galaxy S24 Ultra. So, first and foremost, it's got a flatter design, and it's got a bit wider by 1mm, so it will feel wider to hold as well. And there are a couple of upsides to it. First, it's easier to apply screen protectors and tempered glass. Second, it's so much easier to use the S Pen when your screen isn't curving around the edges. And more importantly, it's going to be more durable. The entire frame is also more squarish than usual, and if you'd like to add smoother curves to it, you could just get a case too. And you know, I also really like the matte texture, the matte finish on the sides now. It just feels very nice to me. And I think the buttons are like a tad bit wider, so they're a lot easier to press. And absolutely adore the more symmetrical bezels. Been a while since I've waited for that on the Ultra models. Now I've got the winning color, the titanium gray, but there's few more and some that are online exclusive, which might actually be even better. And of course, as we all know, the frame is now a titanium alloy, so it's going to be stronger, while it still weighs pretty much the same as previous generation phones. The other real big improvement is the display protection. So now it's got Corning Gorilla Armor, which is like the toughest at the moment, and it's got 4 times the scratch resistance. So you know, even minor scratches or scuffing because of keys in your pocket or change, the impact would be a lot lesser on the display now. Couple of other small things. You now have a smaller hole punch than earlier, a sleeker looking speaker grill, a dual nano SIM tray, no microSD card slot, and the S Pen now has a nicer matte finish, so it feels even better to hold. Now the display has gotten even better. Like Samsung already had the best display hands down. The color calibration, the sharpness, the brightness levels while maintaining color, and just the sheer consistency across all of it, no phone comes close to it. And yeah, this time they've improved even more on the brightness levels, going from 1750 nits to 2600 nits peak. I mean, it really wasn't required. They were crazy bright to begin with, but good to see that they continue improving on what they already excel at. By the way, it's 1 to 120 Hz across all models, base, plus, and ultra. It's the best display. Just take my word for it. Okay, I want to talk about the cameras now. Details will be in the full review. I'm going to need a bit more time to dig into a lot of it, but I do want to address a couple of concerns that people have had. We know Samsung swapped the 10 megapixel 10x zoom for a higher 50 megapixel but a lower 5x zoom lens. Now you might think that this is a downgrade, but actually no. Because now you get a higher quality zoomed in photos with the new lens than you did with the old lens, and thanks to AI zoom for photos that uses AI for multi-frame processing and in turn gives you a great picture. And if I compare photos that are beyond 10x zoom also, you'll see that it does better than what we had earlier. The other thing I'm super kicked to try is that they've introduced 4K video recording at 120 FPS in the Pro video mode. This means we can get super smooth slow motion 4K video footage now with the phone. Second, they have fixed the shutter lag. It's definitely better than what we had earlier, and in fact you could go into settings and make it even faster. Of course, it would be for a slightly compromised quality, but nevertheless it'll still be pretty good. And third, a lot of people wonder how much of camera's native capability can be used by social media apps like Snapchat and Instagram. Well, it looks like Samsung has worked on that and they did talk about it at the launch event. But again, in my full review, I will deep dive into that and share that with you. So please guys, definitely hit that subscribe button. You want to turn on the notification bell icon so that way you know when that video comes out. Now, other than that 5x 50 megapixel zoom lens, the camera hardware is pretty much the same. A 12 megapixel ultra wide lens, the 200 megapixel primary lens, then you've got the newer 50 megapixel 5x zoom lens, and finally the 10 megapixel 3x optical zoom lens. However, they have introduced a pro visual engine which gives better scene recognition, better contrast, lighting, color, and more natural looking realistic photos. And guys, it's also supposed to have better zoom performance at night, better night portraits, better videos, and a ton more things. I just need time to dig deep and figure all of that out for you. So again, make sure you subscribe and stay tuned. All right, now let's talk about performance. And one thing I want to highlight first is that it's really great to see that all memory variants of S24 Ultra start at 12 GB RAM straight off. You get the all-new shiny Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 chip for Galaxy, so it's slightly higher clock for more performance. And this time, they've increased the vapor chamber size by 92%, so you can basically maintain peak performance for a longer duration because of that efficient cooling. I mean, it basically means it's absolutely great for gaming or anything that requires a lot of brain power. And by the way, the S24 series supports ray tracing as well, which means very lifelike realistic gaming experience. But we'll have to wait until more games that support ray tracing come out. They've also increased how long the battery is going to last. So the battery capacity has increased on the S24 base and the Plus models, while it's the same on the Ultra. But because of Galaxy AI and an even more efficient cooling, you are going to get higher screen on time. Now, obviously this is early, but just look at that screen time I'm getting right now. And I still have quite a bit of battery left. But of course, I need to use it for a couple more days. I need to go out and use it with, data on. I need to use it when it's really hot outside and then see the real life scenarios and how that impacts battery performance. But it's looking really promising already, and I'm very positive about this. In fact, I've seen some talk about how the S24 Ultra is already beating all flagships in battery performance. So finally. Lastly, software. Obviously, it comes with Android 14 right out of the box with the super latest One UI 6.1. But the big news is you're going to get 7 years of Android upgrades on the S24 series, and that puts it right at par with brands like Pixel and Apple. And that also means it's going to last you longer. That is, if you do take good care of your phone. And of course, now you also get higher resale value than you did before. But hey, if you do want to know what's new in One UI 6 or 6.1, I've done a video. It'll be here in this card, so watch it if you're interested. Okay, now let's talk pricing and all variants that are available. So here are all models and the respective variants, and you can just pause here and see what works for you. And obviously, as is the case every year, depending on which variant and which region you're buying in, there would be various offers, and you could actually get this for a lot less than the launch price. Here in India, for example, you can get a 512 gigs variant for the price of 256 gigs. You get 5,000 rupees off on HDFC bank cards, and you get an exchange bonus of 5,000 rupees on top of the exchange value. So if you're really serious about buying, it would be a great idea to pre-reserve right now and get the best price at launch. So to sum up, you get the fastest performance components, the most durable Android flagship, the best display ever on a smartphone, the most feature-packed One UI Android skin with the promise of 7 years of Android upgrades, a banger camera system, and the power of AI enabling you to create, connect, and play in ways never done on any other smartphone. It's looking good. But this was just a first impressions about the S24 Ultra. Allow me some time to get to know the device a bit more and share my detailed analysis with you in the full review, and you might want to subscribe for that. You know, like battery performance, camera performance, should you get this or the S23 or the S22 Ultra? The accuracy of all the Galaxy AI features, and how handy are they in case of, everyday use? There's lots and lots to cover, so all of that in the full review, so stay tuned. Anyway, that's it guys. If you still have any questions, doubts, concerns, things that you want to know about the phone, drop them in the comment section. I'll try and answer as many of them. Otherwise, everything else in the full review. I'll see you guys.